Hey there everybody, it's time for Game 5 of the 2002 Moneyball season. The series with Texas has been completed. 4-game series. Oakland has come back to win the last 3 games of the series and now stand at 3-1 on the season. And now they move on to Safeco Field to take on the Seattle Mariners. But before we get to that, we'll go ahead and do a recap of the 4 games. The first game, of course, was on video, so you can check that out in your leisure if you haven't stumbled upon that one yet. And that was the game that Texas won 3-1. I did make one error as far as the rosters go. Francisco Cordero got the save in this game. He was unfortunately not on the Texas roster. I thought he was, but he wasn't. So when I entered the game into the PC version, the same game, I had to use Deki Hirabu to get the save because Francisco Cordero was not on the roster. So there's the score sheet version, 352-140, and same with the when I put it into the computer. All right, now let's move on from that game to Game 2. Game 2, the A's won it by the final score of 3-2 behind good pitching from Tim Hudson. He went 8 shutout innings to get the win to beat Kenny Rogers. The A's got a run in the first, 2 runs in the first actually. Giambi doubled, Menachino followed with a double, and then Hatterberg singled in Menachino to make it 2-0. Then when Tejada doubled, Hatterberg tried to score from first, but he was thrown out 8-6-2 to end the inning. And it stayed that way, stayed 2-0 until the 7th, the 6th, when Carlos Pena hit a 2-out solo homer to make it 3-0. Stayed 3-0. Hudson pitched shutout ball through 8 innings. They brought in Billy Koch, their closer, and he kind of imploded a little bit in the 9th. Gave up a single to A-Rod and then a 2-run homer to Juan Gonzalez. But he did, and he struggled, obviously. So he had to come out. He got 2 outs here. After the home run, he got the 2nd out. But then he gave up a triple to Ivan Rodriguez. And so with Rusty Greer, the lefty, coming up, I went to Mike Venafro, the lefty out of the bullpen. And then Texas countered that move by bringing in Herbert Perry to pinch hit, but Venafro got Perry to ground to short, and that was the ball game. A's won it 3-2, and they actually won it in real life 3-2 as well, which was kind of interesting. All right, so that's the first 2 games. Now let's go to Game 3. Game 3 was played. Make sure I'm in the right order here. Game 3 on April 3rd. The A's won it 7-3 as Barry Zito got the win with 8 shutout innings of pitching, beating Dave Burbashave. And the A's jumped on top early in the 2nd inning. A couple of home runs in the game. Ramon Hernandez, a 2-run shot here. In the same inning, Jeremy Giambi homered. He actually homered twice in the game. I believe both of those were off pitcher cards, so that was kind of interesting. Justice also homered, so they cranked out a bunch of hits. And really were never threatened. They had a 6-0 lead. They gave up 3 runs in the 9th, and again, the A's bullpen, with the big lead, I brought in the kind of the slacker guys, Mike Holtz and Jim Mercier, and they ran into issues, but with the 7-0 lead, it was enough to get it done. They won the real game 9-6. They won this one 7-3. So that made them 2-1. And then the game I just completed, Game 4 of the series, the A's win it 5-4, and they scored 4 in the first and had to hang on. And that was a double by Giambi, singles by Menachino and Hatterberg, a walk to Justice, a sacrifice fly by Tejada, and then a 2-run double by Almedo Signs put the 4 runs up in the first inning. And starting pitcher Corey Lytle made that hold up through 6. He pitched 6 innings, actually went 6 1/3. And in the top of the 7th, he had to come out, gave up a single to Gonzalez, a double to Ivan Rodriguez, put runners at 2nd and 3rd. And so I brought in, with the lefty Greer coming up, I brought in the lefty Magnanti. He gave a ground ball to short, which scored the run, but then got pinch hitter Herbert Perry to line to short to end the inning. Then I brought in the 8th inning, I brought in Jim Mercier, and he had some issues. He gave up a single to pinch hitter Michael Young. I'm sorry, no, that was still Hasselman hitting. Single to him, double to Catalanato, hit a batter, and so the double scored, or the ground ball scored from Everett scored Hasselman from 3rd because the double only put him to 3rd base. So that made it 5-1. I'm sorry, 5-3. as we went to the ninth, so I went ahead and Venafro had to get him out of that. He had to face Palmeiro, brought him in to face one batter. He got Palmeiro to pop up. That ends that. Then the ninth, brought in Billy Koch, again a little shaky. Billy Koch got the first 2 outs, no problem. Then he gave up a single to Perry, and pinch hitter Michael Young walked. A single to Catalanato that scored Perry to make it 5-4, but then he struck out Carl Everett to end the inning. So that's where we stand. It's a 3-1 record, 3-1 series win for the A's. And now we move on to Safeco Field, and the Seattle Mariners are the opponents. So let's go through the lineups pretty quickly for the A's. It'll be Giambi, Menachino, Hatterberg, Justice, Tejada, Long, Saenz, Hernandez, and Pena. And on the mound will be right-hander Eric Hilgess. For the Mariners, it's Ichiro in right, McLemore, Boone, Edgar Martinez, John Olerud, Mike Cameron, Jeff Cirillo, Ben Davis, and Desi Relaford. And on the mound is James Baldwin. So 2 righties going at it. And I've got some different dice to make them a little bit bigger and easier for me to see. I kind of borrowed some of these from some other games. So I'm going to be using the white and the 2 blue instead of the white and the 2 red. So it's going to be James Baldwin on the bump to start things off. And he'll be facing Jeremy Giambi. Ballpark effects, I looked them up. It's 1-3 for both singles and homers for both lefties and righties. So pretty clear cut there. Not a whole lot of discrepancy. All right, so James Baldwin facing Jeremy Giambi. We get a 5-3, and that'll be off Baldwin. Against the lefties, a fly ball left field X. Right away a defensive check for McLemore. He's a 3-E-11. So a 20, he'll get to that. So it's an 11 and an 11. So let's see if that holds up. E11 with an 11. Left fielder, E11. There is no 11, so it's a good play for McLemore, and there's one away. One left fielder flies to another, brings up Frank Menachino, second baseman. 310 against a right-hander is a 1-2 homer. 3-20 is a double. I mean, I looked at 210. 310, my bad. 310 is a strikeout, so I got to start pointing at this stuff. Pay attention. 310 is a strikeout, so big difference there between a potential home run and a strikeout. So 2 up, 2 down for Hatterberg. 412 against the lefty is a split chance. 1-11 for a single. Anything else, he lines to second. And he's going to get a single, so Hatterberg gets his base hit. It's not a threat to steal, though. That brings up David Justice. We'll roll the 20 real quick, make sure nothing happens. It doesn't. Justice, 2-5 is a single. There's a clutch there, but he's not in scoring position, so the single will stand. That is a single to right field. Now the question is, are you going to try for third? Well, it's not a good idea because Ichiro's a -5 arm, so they're not even going to bother with it. They're just going to leave Hatterberg where he is. Hatterberg only runs at a 9 to start with, so chances of him making it to third, not very good. Here is Tejada. I'll roll the 20 with it. The regular roll now to get it out of the way. 2-5 for Tejada is a ground ball to second, and the inning is over. So nothing doing for the A's in the top of the first. We go to the bottom of the first. No score. Eric Hilgess on the mound for the A's. And that brings up Ichiro to lead things off. 2-5 for Ichiro. He's going to ground it back to Hilgess. One away. Brings up Mark McLemore, the left fielder. 412. He's a lefty. Switch hitter batting left. 412 is a ground ball first base X. That's Pena. It's a 2-E-6. So a 2 and a 7 is a good play, and there's a 10. Should be okay on that, I would think. 6, there is no 10. So it's a good play for Pena. 2 up, 2 down. Brings up Brett Boone. 3-3 against a righty is a ground ball to the pitcher, so he'll just a uneventful bottom of the first. 3 easy outs, unexpectedly. 2 of them grounding back to the mound, and at the end of 1, we're scoreless. Oops, you don't want Ichiro up there. We want James Baldwin up there. Cards mixed up here, folks. We got James Baldwin where Ichiro's supposed to be. We'll get it situated here. All right, Terrence Long to lead things off. Terrence Long, a 3-8. 3-8 against a righty is a pop-up to short. One away. And then I'll bring up the third baseman, Olmedo Signs, and he's got about the worst defense you can imagine. 5E65. So it's pretty much like he's out of position. 6-6 against Baldwin is a ground ball to short. Handled by Relaford. 2 down. 2 up, 2 down for catcher Ramon Hernandez. He has caught all 5 games. Think he'd be getting tired by now. 111 is a walk. 2-out walk to Hernandez. He is not a threat to steal. Carlos Pena coming up. Nothing on the 20. It's a 2-7 for Pena. 1-3 is a triple. 4-20 is a single with 2 stars. So it's a single, and that will move Hernandez to third. Runners are at the corners. Pena's not really a threat to steal either. So Jeremy Giambi with runners at the corners and 2 outs. Chance to do some damage. It's a 4-4 for Baldwin against a lefty. That is a catcher X. So potentially you could get a pass ball or something like that. Ben Davis is a 3E1. That's a 16, so I'm sure that's not a problem as far as a pass ball or anything. 3 and a 16 is a foul out. And it's a 10, and he's an E1. So no problem at all. It's simply going to be a foul out. And that's going to end the inning. So Giambi unable to get it done. We go to the bottom of the second, no score. And we bring up Eric Hilgess again. And on the season, Hilgess 3-3 with a 6.50 ERA. So obviously not very good. His stamina only goes to 5. So he's kind of like a bridge guy, 5th starter. See how he works out with that. Sometimes those guys do well unexpectedly. Here's Edgar Martinez, a 2-8, but not this time. Martinez, a 2-8, a 1-9 homer, 10-20 for a double. That's a double for Edgar Martinez. To start the bottom of the second for the Mariners. Brings up John Olerud. There's a 1, so the wild pitch rating on Hilgess is a 4. See if he uncorks one. He does not. We'll go back to Olerud's at bat. 5-6. 5-6 is a fly ball center field B. 1 away. Runner cannot advance to third. You have to be in right field. The fly ball has to go to right field for that. All right, here is Cameron. 6-9. 6-9. Oh, bad one here for Hilgess. 6-9 is his in-home run chance, 1-15, and Cameron does have normal power. So 1-15 is a 2-run bomb, and it is. It's a home run. So home run for Mike Cameron. And it's 2-0 Seattle. As Hilgess put one right down the pipe, and Cameron didn't miss it. Here's Cirillo. 3-8 is a ground ball to short for out number 2. Brings up the catcher, switch hitting Ben Davis. 6-6, switch hitter batting left. 6-6 is a pop out to second. And that's going to end the inning. Timeout. Kitty interruption. Okay, top of the third, and Menachino leads things off. 6-5 against Baldwin. 6-5 is a ground ball shortstop X. That's Relaford. He is a 4E24. So 4E24. That's an 18, so he should have no problem with that. The problem is going to be a potential error. That's an 8, and he's an E24. E24, there is no 8. You know, 418 is simply a G1. So good play there for Relaford. Makes the play on Menachino. 1 away for Scott Hatteberg. 6-11 off of Baldwin. Ground ball pitcher X. Baldwin's a 2E0. So no chance for an error. We're just going to check to make sure he gets to it, which he does. And there's 2 down. For David Justice. 6-5. 6-5 ballpark diamond shot. And it's only a 1-3, unfortunately, for Justice. And he will fly to right to end the inning. So we go to the bottom of the third, still 2-0 Mariners. Hilgis back out, and he may get pulled early if he is not effective. Here's Relaford, leadoff batter of the inning, 5-6, fly ball to center. So 1 away. Brings up the top of the order in Ichiro. 1-9 for Ichiro. All these hits, and he found a ground ball to short. So 2 down. Brings up McLemore. 5-2. And there's a diamond home run shot again. But again, it's only a 1-3. And it's going to be a fly to right field to end the inning. So we go to the fourth. It's still 2-0 Mariners, as he'll just manage to get through that inning without issue. There's James Baldwin, and on the year Baldwin was 7-10 with a 5.28 ERA, so you would think they would be able to get to him, but so far through 3, he's held them in check. Here's Tejada, 5-5. There's a ballpark home run shot again, but again it's only a 1-3. Safeco Field is ruining the home run chances of many a batter. Tejada flies out. Brings up Terrence Long. 3-5. 3-5. 1-2 is a single. Anything else, he will line to second. And he's going to line it to Boone for out number 2. And that will bring up Olmedo Signs. Not sure what happened to Chavez. I don't know if he's hurt or what's going on. But he's not playing in this game. 1-3 for Signs. Ground ball to first. That's going to do it, as Olerud will run to the bag with it. Take care of it. We go to the bottom of the fourth. Still 2-0 Mariners. And Hilgis will be facing Brett Boone. Brett Boone, 6-5. Ground ball shortstop X. Well, Tejada's a 1, so we know he's going to get to it. We're just checking the error range. It's a 9. And he is an E19. 19, and there is no 9, so it's a good play. No need to roll the D20 when it's a 1 and nobody's on base. When the guy's a 1 defender and nobody's on base, it's irrelevant what the D20 says, so there's no sense in rolling it. People on base, then of course you have to roll it, but not with the bases empty. Here's Edgar, 5-6. Struck him out. Rare strikeout of Edgar Martinez, but it's 2 away, and he'll just maybe found a rhythm all of a sudden. There's Olerud, 6-10. Ballpark single check, but again, it's only 1-3. And that's going to be a liner to second. Innings over. We go to the fifth. Still 2-0 Mariners. And James Baldwin has a fatigue rating of 6, so he's good for 2 more innings as long as he's effective. It's up Ramon Hernandez. It's a 5-8 against Baldwin, and that is a ground ball second base X. Second baseman Boone is a 1E8, so again we don't need the D20, just the D6s. It's a 12, and he is an E8. 12 and an E8. 8, there is no 12, so it's a good play for Brett Boone. 1 away for Carlos Pena. .210 for Pena. Home run shot again, but again 1-3. So Safeco Field is robbing a lot of people of home runs. Does it again. It's a fly to. This is a fly to the left is the alternative. So not that it really matters. Not keeping fielding stats for Seattle, so it doesn't make a difference. Here's Jeremy Giambi. So 110 for Giambi, and that's a home run. That's no doubt about it. Nobody's going to bother him with it. Don't need the ballpark to mess with it. It's a 1-110 is a home run for Jeremy Giambi, and he's got 3 home runs in his last couple of games now. Power surge from Giambi. Wonder if he got anything from his brother to assist him in that. But he gets the home run, cuts the lead to 2-1, and that brings up Menachino. 3-9. 3-9 is a strikeout. That's going to end the inning. Run does score, cuts the lead to 2-1. So the A's trying to creep back into this. Here is Hilgis facing Mike Cameron. 2-7 for Cameron is a walk. So a leadoff walk, and those can usually come back to bite you. Cameron, let's see about his steals. Did steal 31 bases, so let's see about getting a jump. Hilgis is a +5 hold rating. Ramon Hernandez is a -2 arm, so that's an aggregate +3. He needs a 4, 5, or 6 to get a jump. And he got a 10, so he didn't get the jump, so he would be dropped to a 13. Held is -4, makes him a 9. And then +3 would be a 12. So 1 to 12 if he wanted to risk it without getting the jump. You know what? They're going to try it. 1 to 12. And he makes it. So despite not getting a good jump, he had the right recipe with Hill just not holding the runners on. So it is a walk and a stolen base. Here's Jeff Cirillo. There's a 2, so there's a chance for a pass ball, balk, something like that. We're looking at pass ball rating on Hernandez. It's only a 2, so there is no pass ball. 6-7 is a ground ball second base X. That's going to be Menachino. He's a 4E5. 4 and 18, he'll get to that, but the runner's going to go to third and see if there's an error. There's a 14, and he is an E5. There is no 14, but on the ground ball to second, Cameron will take third. So now runner at third, 1 out, and they're going to bring the infield in because it's a low-scoring affair, and they don't know how many runs they're going to score. So infield is in. Here's Ben Davis. 2-8 for Ben Davis. Ground ball first base A, and that's going to have to hold the runner with the infield in on the ground ball A to the corners. This is what I'm going by if you're not sure. Ground ball A with the infield in is a 1, and it says runners out, batters out, runners hold. So even if the infield had been back, if that had been a ground ball A with the runner at third, it would have said if it's hit to second or short, the runner would advance. Otherwise, they would hold. So in this case, with the infield in, they definitely had to hold. Had it been a plus there, then it would have been a base hit. But in this case, grounds it to Pena. They freeze the runner. Cameron at third. There's 2 outs for Desi Relaford. There's a 5-9. Relaford's a switch hitter batting left. 5-9 is well, that's going to score the run. An in-home run chance, and he does have normal power. It's 1 to 18. So most likely a 2-run shot here, and it is. So Relaford, a 2-run homer. Doesn't matter where the infield is when you hit a home run. Relaford did have 6 on the season, but you don't think of him as a home run hitter, but he clears the bases. Here's Ichiro. Well, let's re-roll that white die. That thing flipped over on me. 3-7, fly to center. So that's going to end the inning, and that's going to probably be all for Hilgis. It is now a 4-1 game after 5 innings. So the A's are going to go to their bullpen. Jeff Tam, right-hander, will be coming on in the top. I'm sorry, in the bottom of the 6th. Right now, top of 6, Baldwin still okay. 5-6 against the lefty Hatteberg is a double. So Hatteberg, 2 hits on the day. That'll bring up Justice as the A's try to answer those 2 runs. 110 for Justice is a walk, and that's how you do it, by putting guys on base. They got 2 on, nobody out for Tejada. 1 swing of the bat to tie the game. To 5-3, and that is a fly ball left field X. So that is McLemore. He's a 3E11. 3 and a 4 might drop in. We'll check it. 3 and a 4 I think is going to drop in for a single. 3 and a 4 it is. Single with 2 stars, and that will score at least 1 run. It's a 14, and he's an E11. There is no 14, but it is going to be a single with 2 stars. So the single with 2 stars will score Hatteberg, and it will move Justice to third base. Cuts the lead to 4-2, and runners are at the corners with nobody out. And now the Seattle bullpen is hot and heavy. Here's Terrence Long. 112 for Long, and that's a walk. So that may be it for Baldwin. I think he is going to come out. So Baldwin's going to come out. He made it to the 6th, but didn't get anybody out. So 5+ innings for Baldwin. He will leave, and coming in for the Mariners will be Jeff Nelson. So Jeff Full Nelson will be coming into the ball game. Try to get out of a tough spot. Bases are loaded. Nobody out. 4-2 game. And Almedo signs the batter. 2-11 for signs. As a ground ball second base C, that will advance the runners, all runners. So a run will score. He'll get an RBI out of that from his 7-hole spot. Brings home a run. Second run of the inning is 4-3 now, with runners at second and third. 1 out for Ramon Hernandez. Now a base hit could give the A's the lead. They have the infield back. It's a 1-3. Single chance, but it's a ballpark chance, 1-3. And he just missed it. So it's a line out to second base for out number 2. And now it's up to Carlos Pena to get it done. It's a 4-8 against Nelson. That's a, I'm sorry, I looked at 5-8. 4-8's a walk. And that will load the bases again. And that'll bring up Mr. Giambi, who homered last trip. He's one of their hotter hitters, Jeremy Giambi. It's a 3-7. 3-7 is a fly to right. That's going to end the inning. But the A's do pick up 2 runs, cut the lead to 4-3 as we go to the bottom of the 6th. And reliever Jeff Tam is on for the A's, as Hill just goes 5 innings. That'll bring up Mark McLemore to lead things off. 4-4 against a lefty. That's a catcher X. That is Hernandez. He's a 2-E3. 17 shouldn't be a problem. That's a 4. E3 and a 4. There is no 4. So a 2 and a 17 is a ground out. So it's a G2. Makes it a 2-3 ground out to retire McLemore. Brings up Brett Boone, brother of another famous Boone. 6'9". 6'9's ground ball to short. 2 down. For Edgar Martinez. So Tam coming in and stabilizing things a bit. 5-8. Ground ball second base X. That's going to be Menachino. He's a 4-E5. 4 and a 6 is probably going to be a base hit. Probably an SI2. 4 and a 6 is actually an SI1, but it doesn't matter. Nobody's on base. 9, and he is an E5. There is no 9, but it is going to be a single for Edgar. And he's certainly not a threat to steal. Stole 1 base all year, got caught once. So, Olerud, the batter. That is a 6-6 against Tam. And that is a ground ball to first to end the inning. So nothing doing there. After 6 complete from Safeco Field, it is Seattle 4 and Oakland 3. And that'll bring up Jeff Nelson for his 2nd inning of work. He will be on to face Menachino. 3-9, struck him out. Menachino out on strikes. Brings up the red-hot Scott Hatteberg. 2 for 3. Couple of singles. 3-7. He's going to single again. So he's 3 for 4. Actually, 2 singles and a double now. So he is 3 for 4. He is red hot. And here's Justice. We get a 3-3 for Justice. He's going to ground to first. The runner will advance to second. Out number 2, but the tying run is in scoring position with 2 outs for Miguel Tejada. 3-7, fly to center. However, There is a clutch there, and we are using clutch. Runners in scoring position with 2 outs. That turns into a base hit with 2 stars, and we have a tie ball game right there, folks. So Tejada comes through in the clutch. Double check and make sure the clutch gives you 2 stars. I'm pretty sure it does, but I will double check that. Yes, it is 2 stars. So the run does score. We are all tied at 4 apiece, and they have now taken Hilgis off the hook for the loss, and also James Baldwin is no longer eligible to get the win. So the game's in the hand of the bullpen. It's a 3-7 for Long. It's going to fly to center. It's going to end the inning. But now we're tied at 4 as we go to the 7th inning stretch. And Jeff Tam, it's going to be all for Nelson, I do believe. Jeff Tam is in for his 2nd inning of work to face Cameron. Cameron, Cirillo, and Davis do up 4-5. Ground ball to short. Just missed a couple of base hits there. If he'd had a 4-6 or a 4-7 or 4-8, it would have been a base hit. But a 4-5 is a ground ball to short. Here is, oops, wrong card I moved there. Took Tam out instead of Cameron by mistake. So here's Cirillo. 3-5 for Cirillo, and that is a walk. So Cirillo draws a 1-out walk. He did steal 8 bases, and the matchup, well, it's not as good now because Tam's a -1 on the hold, and Ramon's a -2. That's a -3. So even if he got to 15, the best he could have is a 10. So they're going to not steal, and they're going to go ahead and bring in Ben Davis, the catcher, next up. It's a 2-8 for Davis. He's going to ground to first for a double play. 3-6-3, ground ball A. So maybe they should have sent him. You never know what the dice are going to show. But now we go to the 8th inning. We're tied at 4-4. And that's going to be all for Tam. He gave 2 good innings there, as did Nelson. So Nelson will be replaced. New Mariner pitcher is going to be and I'll try to pronounce this guy's name. Shigetoshi Hasegawa. Easy for me to say, right? Alright, he's going to come in. I'm just going to write Hasegawa. I'm not even going to try to worry about the first name. So Hasegawa is in to pitch the 8th. Tie ball game 4-4. Game's in the hand of the bullpen. 110 for Olmedo Signs, and Olmedo Signs is going to greet Hasegawa with a base hit. 1-14 is in fact a double. So it's a leadoff double for Olmedo Signs. Leadoff double brings up Ramon Hernandez, catcher. And it's a 1, so but he does not have a wild pitch rating, so we don't need to worry about that. It is a 5-11. 5-11. Fly ball right field X. Fly ball right field X. That is Ichiro. He's a 1 E3. It's a 6. So let's see what that fly ball does. Probably forces the runner to hold. It's an F2. And he is an E3, and that is a 12. No 12, so let's check F2. I think the runner has to hold. Runner on second may tag up and try to advance. But you know what? Olmedo Signs doesn't run that well. We know how Ichiro throws the ball. So Signs is only a 9 runner, so he's not going to go anywhere. They're not going to run Ichiro. One away. You make your living much better running off somebody else. Here's Pena. 2-11 for Pena, and there's a ballpark diamond shot, but again, it's only a 1-3. Safeco Field strikes again. It is a fly to right. 2 down. And it's up to Jeremy Giambi to get the job done. It's a 1, but again, he doesn't have a wild pitch rating, so don't need to worry about that. 5-12 against a lefty. Ground ball pitcher X. He is an E2. It's a 2 E0, so no error possibility. We'll just make sure he gets to it. It's a 7. He will get to it. And the inning is over. So the leadoff double from Signs Does not come to fruition for any runs. And we go to the bottom of the 8th. And we'll get a new pitcher for Oakland. And let's see, they're going to have Relaford, Ichiro, and McLemore. So they're going to have some switch hitters and some lefties. So they're going to go to Mike Venafro, the lefty. Mike Venafro is coming on. So Mike Venafro will be on to face the switch hitting Desi Relaford. Venafro. Turn Relaford around to bat right-handed, 6'5". 6'5" is an in-home run chance. That's not good, although he is weak against lefties. So that would only be a base hit on a 1-19. It's going to be just a single and not a home run. So he already hit a home run in this game, but against that was against a righty. Against lefties, he's weak power. So no home run, just a single, but still it's an important single as he gets on base. And let's see here. Venafro's a +1 hold rating. You know, with Ichiro coming up, they're not going to take a chance on getting him thrown out. Let Ichiro hit swing away. It's a 1. He's got a wild pitch rating of 5. So Venafro, no wild pitch. So we go back to the Ichiro at bat. 6-6. And Ichiro is clocked in a base hit. 1-4 is a double. 5-20 is a single. It's a single 2 stars for Ichiro. Puts runners at the corners with nobody out. And Mark McLemore, the batter. And Venafro may not last too long in this game. He will face McLemore, but after that, a righty's coming up, so they're going to go to the bullpen. So here's McLemore. 3-5 against a lefty is a strikeout plus injury, but we're not doing injuries, so it's just a strikeout, 1 away. But that's going to be all for Venafro with the right-hander coming up in Brett Boone. They will go to right-hander Chad Bradford out of their bullpen. So Chad Bradford, the submarining right-hander, will be on. See if he can induce a double play out of Brett Boone. That would be what the doctor orders right here. It would be a double play. So Chad Bradford looking to turn it. Looking to turn 2. Get out of this thing. It's a 4-6 against a right-hander. You got a strikeout, so that's almost as good as a double play. Makes it 2 outs, and now the infield can kind of go back to normal. But they still have to get past Edgar Martinez to get out of this. It's a 5-6. 5-6, and he didn't do it. 5-6 is a double for a 1 or a single for 2-20 with 2 stars. That's going to score a run. Well, it's a 2, so it's only a single, but that will score Relaford as Edgar Martinez delivers the RBI single. Ichiro does go to third, so runners are at the corners. That run is charged to Venafro. And here's Olerud. 5-10 is a ground ball second base A. That's going to end the inning. But an insurance run picked up by Seattle. Actually, not an insurance run, a go-ahead run. It's 5-4 now. And we go to the top of the 9th, and the Mariners will bring on their closer. And in the 2002 season, their closer was another man from Japan, or from the Orient, Kazuhiro Sasaki. And Kazuhiro Sasaki had 37 saves in 2002. So Sasaki will be looking to close out the A's, and he's going to face Menachino, Hatterberg, and Justice. But the A's will go to their bench. They're going to pinch hit for Menachino. So Menachino will not bat. Instead, it will be, let's see who they got on the bench that's worth anything. Well, they're gonna pinch hit Eric Chavez. So I'm gonna assume Chavez is okay to pinch hit. So Chavez will get the call here, and I did look at a video, and he does pronounce his name Chavez. So that's what I'm going with instead of Chavez. I'm going with Chavez because that's what he calls himself. So Eric Chavez will pinch hit for Menachino to lead off the 9th against Kazuhiro Sasaki. 4-8. Sasaki against a lefty. 4-8's a strikeout. So Chavez struck him out. And he would have struck out the right hander on a 4-8 also. So it didn't really matter. Here's red hot Scott Hatterberg though. Let's move this over so we can get the whole card in there. 1-3, and he's hit by the pitch. So maybe Mariners were tired of them getting hits off of him, but they do put the go-ahead run on base. We're going to get a pinch runner for Hatteberg. He runs pretty slowly, so they will go to Randy Velarde. No, I'm sorry, Randy Velarde is hurt, I believe. So let's see what they have left. They don't really have a whole lot left. They're going to have to stick with Hatteberg, actually. The only guy they have left is backup catcher Greg Myers, so they're kind of stuck. All right, here's Justice. We get a 1-6 for Justice, and he's going to walk, so that's going to put 2 on with only 1 out. And the big boy, Miguel Tejada, coming up. So Sasaki trying to hang on. It's a 4-12, and he does strike out Tejada for out number 2. And now it's up to Terrence Long. Last chance for the A's, where their 3-game winning streak will be over. 4-6 against a lefty is a fly to left, and that's going to be the ball game. Seattle hangs on to win it by the final score of 5-4. They won the real game 7-1. So this one much closer than the actual game, because in the real game Seattle did win it 7-1. This one is a 5-4 victory. The winning pitcher is Jeff Nelson in relief, and the loser is Mike Venafro, with Sasaki getting the save. So that's going to do it from here. I'll go ahead and input all this in the computer. I'll play the other games of the series offline and come back in the next series with another video with a recap, of course, of the previous games that were played. The A's are now 3-2 on the young season, and in their next outing against Seattle, let's check the next day's activities. They will be sending Mark Mulder to the mound against Freddie Garcia. And then the game 3 and final game of the series, they'll be sending Tim Hudson against Jamie Moyer. And then they will travel to Texas with a rematch of the Rangers. It'll be Zito against Kenny Rogers. So that's the next activities for the A's. They'll be playing 2 more games in Seattle to finish out the 3-game set. And when that's done, I will do a recap and then do a video from Game 1 from Arlington Stadium in Texas. Or the ballpark in Arlington, I guess it was called back then. And we'll get everything rolling there. Still doing the Mark Fidrich inside pitch replay. Just need to do a video of that one as well. So I haven't forgot about that one, but I'm trying to mix them up and keep things fresh and keep things semi on schedule. So that's going to do it from here. Hope everybody has a wonderful day playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it. And as usual, I will see you all down the road.